If you are a BioWare and or Mass Effect or Dragon Age fan who's been maybe a little concerned about BioWare in recent months and even years to a point, I have a tidbit of news here to talk about today that may make you a little more hopeful, especially if you're a Mass Effect fan. Let's take a look at it. So today, they posted, actually it was yesterday, BioWare posted on their own website here a senior gameplay animator job specifically for Mass Effect, and a associate software engineer job that's a temporary full-time. The one I want to talk about is the senior gameplay animator job, specifically for Mass Effect. It says that it's based in Austin. The reason this is interesting, if you haven't paid attention recently, is that in recent months it was announced that Mark Dara was coming back to Dragon Age to help them get Dreadwolf out, that they were bringing Mass Effect devs over from that pre-production team to come over to Dreadwolf to help them get that game out. And then more recently, there was an announcement that around 50 people had been laid off of BioWare. So them hiring again is interesting, and why it's interesting is because, one, they're doing it for Mass Effect, a game that we've been told as recently as a couple months ago is still in pre-production. Two, this is the first job listing they've had on the official BioWare career website since I believe June of last year of 2022. That was the development director job that we found out had been filled during N7 Day last year in November. And I think this is interesting simply because if you're a BioWare and or Mass Effect fan, someone who's looking forward to this next game to get more info about it and hoping it gets finished and put out one day, this should give you some solace. This is a position that, if you read in the description, it says, we are looking for an experienced senior gameplay animator with a focus on pre-visualization of gameplay systems for third-person action, 3C development, character, camera, and controls. You will collaborate with core gameplay and narrative leadership groups to create animations that help establish systems which blur the lines between traditional gameplay and narrative experiences. The senior gameplay animator will report to the animation director. I'm not super deep in the industry. I know my experience with the 3C designation, it tends to mean that everything that the player does in the game, the person who's in control of that in other games is called the 3C director. If you're a Division fan, you'll know Frederick Thylander. He was the 3C guy for the Division 1 and 2, or at least Division 2. I'm not sure about 1. And that was kind of his job. So the things that, if you ever heard him talk about, the actual feel of the player in the game is what this is. For me, this is just exciting because it's some kind of news from BioWare that is pretty tight-lipped. The employees there are pretty tight-lipped as well. But this should be a glimmer of hope or positivity after the recent layoffs, even though those seem to mostly impact Dreadwolf and kind of BioWare in general. There were rumors at one point that, BioWare was down to 200 employees, and that, they were, because they got rid of the Star Wars Old Republic, the MMO they had. And, this is that little bit of a rebound. This is leading up to, in about a month and a half, we have N7 Day coming up, and I just think that maybe this is a nice reminder of they're still working on the Mass Effect game. It's still happening. There's no reason to fret more than likely quite yet about that, and that hopefully they'll that if they're able to hire someone just for Mass Effect at this point, I would hope that they're still kind of trudging along pretty hard in the pre-production of that, and that hopefully means that we can get some cool reveals and teases and stuff like that here in November for N7 Day 2023. As a reminder, I'm going to be doing a big giveaway for that. Keep an eye on mostly my Twitter, and I will do a video here talking about it as well. You can catch me over at Twitter at Von Diesel. If you like this video, if you want more BioWare news, more Mass Effect news, if you just like gaming news in general, please subscribe to this channel. Like this video if you did. Comment down below if you have your thoughts about this position being opened up. If you want to ask any questions I can answer in other videos, or if you just want to say hello. You can find me as Bond Diesel all over the place, including over at Twitch, where I stream a couple times a week. And you can catch my video game news podcast that's every single Friday, Saturday. It's called The Bonfire on all podcast platforms and right here on this YouTube. That's all I have for this one. So until next time.